Hi folks, Doc Jake from Sioux Nation Ag Center here. With fall coming on, folks are asking about when's the best time to vaccinate cattle. In order to answer that question, I'd like to offer a different question. Why do we vaccinate cattle in the first place? Well, we vaccinate cattle so we can help them stay healthy. With that in mind, when is the best time to help them stay healthy? While we still own them. So if you are going to retain ownership of your calves after weaning, that means you're going to want to vaccinate those calves before weaning happens. Now, our focus on weaning is due to the fact that by its nature, weaning is a stressful event. Think about it. The calf has to adapt to a new environment away from its mother, and it also has to establish a new social structure with all the other calves that have been weaned. Because of this, it causes the release of a hormone known as cortisol. Cortisol is released when calves undergo a stressful event. People too, for that matter. Cortisol downregulates the ability of the immune system to ward off disease. That's the reason why we tend to see more calves get sick with pneumonia in those 3 weeks after weaning, because of the hormone cortisol that's associated with the stress at weaning. The more stressful the weaning is, the more likely we are to see issues. So with this in mind, let's think about it in the context of vaccinating at the same time as weaning. Because cortisol is abundant in the animal system, that means the immune system won't react to the vaccine as well as we would like it to, meaning we won't get as good a protection against the causes of disease that we're hoping to vaccinate against. In addition, we have to consider that it takes time for the immune response to mount to the vaccination so that we actually get immunity from the vaccine we've given. At the earliest, we're talking 10 days, but in reality, we should think at least 2 to 3 weeks to get that full response. When calves are going to have their problems within that first 2 to 3 weeks after weaning, and we give the vaccines at weaning, well, the vaccine's not even capable of being any good until 2 to 3 weeks after weaning. Well, the problems have already started by then. So this is the reason why we want to try to get those vaccines in prior to weaning. By doing them prior to weaning, for one, we can have the immune response built to help that calf get through the possibility of having an illness event due to the increased level of cortisol in that calf's system. The second reason we want to do this prior to weaning is because if we give it at weaning, we're not going to get as good of response as we would like. Now, some of you may be thinking, this is all well and good, Doc, but I don't have any facilities on my pasture. How am I supposed to get the cattle in to work them? The good news is that portable corrals are available in a lot of different places nowadays. You can either buy them or get them for rent. The other thing is, as far as chutes are concerned, if we come out to work the cattle, we'll bring a chute along so that you've got that available to do the job.
Well, that's all well and good, Doc, but what if I can't get the help to work them while they're out on pasture? What do I do then?
That's a good question, Generic Rancher Ron, because this is a problem that many of our customers have. If this is a situation you find yourself in, consider loading the calves up in the pasture and bringing them into one of our Sioux Nation Ag Center vet clinics that have a hauling facility. At the hauling facility, we'll have a team here to help process those calves so we can get the shots into them, and then you could just take them back out to the pasture so they can be with the cow. Now, despite the challenges of getting calves worked prior to weaning, it's still a project that has a lot of good rewards. After all, if calves get sick, they aren't very productive. So if we can keep those calves healthy, we'll be more apt to get a good return on our investment in our cow herd. And that is critical to feeding that bottom line. Adjust. There we go. Now, despite some of the challenges of getting calves worked prior to weaning, it is definitely something that's very rewarding. Blah. The good news is that portable corrals are often able oh, that's somebody coming in for feed. Hold on, we got something we got to do first, boys. Now, despite the challenges of getting calves worked prior to weaning, it is still a